welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, here with your readings for April the 13th through April the 19th. I want to thank you so much for your patience. I haven't been doing this for a while because I have been unwell, I should say. I want to say I can neither confirm nor deny that I've had COVID-19. I have been quarantined at home for weeks, and I am making a recovery, although it is a little slow, so I'm not on screen. And I have changed. I was inspired by Easter today, you know, the whole kind of spirit of Easter, you know, death and rebirth, right? Arise from, for a new way of being. And so I was really inspired. So I'm doing these as best I can and trying to get through them because my energy is still very low. But I've changed the format and I am now going to do a more tailored horoscope for you astrologically instead of doing a general astrological reading. So I'd love some feedback on that, guys. Please let me know. This is for your sun, moon and rising as well. So all the other links to the other videos will be below. If they're not below, check out, there'll be a link to a playlist at the end of this video. The April playlist, and whatever videos are up will be in there because it takes me a minute sometimes to put all the links under each video. So let's go to your cards first. 3 cards. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings and helpful information can you give Scorpio for April the 13th through the 19th? 3 cards. 2, is that, oh, there's 2. Okay. 1 more card. Oh, there it is. There you go. And let's do clarifying cards for Scorpio. These are clarifying cards for Scorpio. Wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Scorpio through these clarifying cards? Okay, please clarify the 6 of Swords. There we are. Please clarify the 5 of Swords. Okay. And please clarify the 2 of Pentacles for Scorpio. All right. There are your cards. And then let's go over what's going on astrologically for you for this week anyway. There's one significant change in the astrology, which is not major, but there's still some other energy going on and some things coming up so that are affecting you this week. So the first thing that we have is the sun on the 19th, that's next Sunday, is moving into Taurus in your house of relationships. Now, that's the 7th house. What's happening also is that you have Uranus traveling through that house. So there are ups and downs with relationships, surprises and shocks, sudden happenings, because that's what Uranus is all about. It's about sudden happenings. It's about lightning and thunder and things, you know, you could be bumping into people out of the blue, thinking about them and seeing them, getting a phone call. It's that kind of thing too. And with the sun shining on that, the sun is very auspicious, right? It's beautiful. It's shining a light on your relationships. So things are, I don't want to say coming to a head, that's not the right thing. I mean, the sun is all about joy. It's about creativity. It's about letting your inner child come out. And this is, be more playful in your relationships. And, you know, look for the fun and be more creative and playful, I would say. Now, what's interesting, your ruling, your traditional ruling planet, right, is Mars, or Mars is in, loves Scorpio. It's the traditional ruler of Scorpio, and Mars is the male archetype, right? And it is in a beautiful relationship to Venus, which is the female archetype, right? The divine male and the divine feminine. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And you have Mars, which is very kind of active. It's like, you know, it's in your house of home and roots, so it's very protective, it's very active, it's the warrior. So you are the warrior at home, and you've got this beautiful relationship with the divine feminine in your house of transformation. Now, normally, you know, that's the house that you rule over, Scorpio. You rule over the house of transformation, and you've got this beautiful Venus in there, which is, I really think that creatively you're changing. There's some kind of major transformation, but it's in creativity that it's going to, and that can be music, that can be art, it can be some kind of, you know, it's beauty. So this is a beautiful transformation that's going on, aesthetically beautiful, if you will. Now, what's really interesting about this Venus is that it is in Gemini, right? And the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, is in Aries. So, and it's in this, and Venus is having this gorgeous relationship, another harmonious relationship with the ruler of the planet, the sign that it's in. So you've got this active, creative. I really feel that you're going to transform things the way you work. And perhaps this could be from working at home, but there's some kind of major transformation in how, I think that goes for all of us, but this could really benefit for you because Mercury is in your house of work and daily routines. So things are really changing in a creative and wonderful way. Now, your ruling planet, Pluto, is conjunct Jupiter in your house of communication and siblings too. This is also known as siblings and short distance travel. But, you know, Pluto is the house of transformation, right? It's the planet of transformation. It's death and rebirth. And you've got this conjunction with Jupiter, which is abundance. So it's like things are breaking down to be reborn. So I feel that this is a really deep way of connecting with people and communicating. And I feel that this is a transform. I feel that you are going to find your power. Finally, you are going to find your power of communication. I feel that you'll be able to express yourself in much better ways, and perhaps find your voice. I feel that you're going to find your voice. You're going to find your power. You're going to change the way that you're thinking, your thought process, so you will have more confidence to be able to express yourself, to be vulnerable, and perhaps not be so sensitive, you know. Now, the first card out for you, that's your horoscope astrologically. I hope you enjoyed that. This is the Six of Swords, right? So the Six of Swords is all about moving on. So this is about change. Now, this is about moving on, but there's kind of a fear here because you don't know what's ahead. And I feel that there's a transformation going on astrologically for you too. And this is important for you to move with it, right? To go with that transformation, to look, wherever you're at, it's not kind of working. You know, there's stormy waters here and there's calmer waters and greener pastures ahead. So it's about getting in that boat, moving on. Whatever this is for you, and I'm getting that I think for most of you, this is, well, this could be swords of communication too. This could be, you know, you're communicating differently. But I'm really thinking that this is probably something to do with how how you structure your day and how you work. Perhaps you're going to be working from home. You do have Mars, you know, in your house of home and roots. That's action. That's taking action from there, connected to, you know, creative and beautiful Venus. So there's change afoot. Go with it. Go with the change. Get in the boat. There's no guarantees in life, but this is worth, when this comes in, it's worth the risk. Now, clarifying the Six of Swords is the Emperor. And the Emperor is the King of Kings. The Emperor is all about structure, rules, and regulations. And what's interesting is, right, the Emperor is like Saturn. And Saturn has just moved into your house of home and roots, you know, catching up to Mars, or Mars has just surpassed it, actually. It's not going to catch up because Saturn is a bit slow. So sometimes he's like the old man. He restricts things, and that's what we've had for a little while. It's like, you know, Mars wants to take action and go forward and you know, put the foot on the gas, and Saturn is like, no, slow down, you're moving too fast. So it's like, excuse me, it's like driving a car with the brakes on. So the Emperor is saying, make sure that you've got all your T's crossed. Look at the details, right? And this is also, you know, he's about doing things for the right reason. But he's about crossing your T's and dotting your I's and making sure all the details are in place, that you've got everything covered, that you don't rush forward, because Mars is going to make you want to rush forward. But the old man is saying, slow down. You know, sometimes it's the tortoise that rings, or the turtle, whatever it was, the tortoise, the turtle, and the hare. Sometimes it's the slow one that wins in the end, right? So think about that. When you're moving forward, get everything in place. Now, the next card out is the Five of Swords, right? Excuse me. The Five of Swords is conflict. This is about getting into a battle, right, that you can't win, but you want to win no matter what. It's like, I've got to be right. I want to be right. Even when you know, perhaps, it's almost like you need to know your limitations. It's knowing your limitations. But this is like an argument, and this is what we can all have. This is like an argument with a lover. It's like, you know, to win the battle, you go for the jugular. You say things that really hurt that person. And we've all done this, you know. We go for the weakest link, right, in the other person, and we just eviscerate them verbally. So this is like, you know, and we can, you know, we can feel frustrated, and you do have Mars in your house of home and roots. So, you know, Mars is impulsive and say things with it, you know, without thinking about the consequences, and just on the moment. It's like, rah, you know, it's cutting, right? Five of Swords. It's like you're going to cut, you know, you cut into someone emotionally and you just hurt them. So this is winning the battle no matter what. And it's not advisable to do that. So we need to kind of slow down, right? We need to take the Emperor. We need to have that moment between pause and action, and lean towards Saturn in this situation, and not, you know, resist. This is like the scorpionic sting, right? It's like going for the jugular. When you're angry, it's like, let me hurt them verbally. You know, it doesn't have to be physically. You can eviscerate someone with your verbiage, you know. I know I can. I have Mars in Aries in my 10th house, so I can be very, you know, cutting. Like, I've never had to lift a finger. I can just chop someone up verbally. So it's not a night. I never feel good after that, and I, you know, I don't resort to that like I used to. when I was younger, you know, headstrong. When you get older, you can kind of control these feelings. So you're being asked to know your limitations. You know, your strength can be in backing down and saying, you know what, you're right. Or let's, you know, it's like I always say, you know what, let them win. You know, let them win the battle. Let them be wrong, right? Allow them to be wrong. You don't have to prove them right. You don't have to tell them how right, you know, just go, you know, let them be wrong. Sometimes battles aren't worth fighting, right? Or you've lost the battle, but maybe not the war if you know, relinquish the power right here. Now, clarifying that is the Ace of Wands, right? So this is creativity. It's a spark. This is getting out of this creatively. This is like using, you know, because this, you know, this is cutting and not very nice. It's like kicking someone when they're down, right? And humiliating someone, like talking down to them derogatory, telling them they're stupid or whatever. But this is about getting a creative idea. This is about a spark that can light a flame, that can set a big fire ablaze, the potential here. I feel that you can really get a brilliant creative idea here. Back off from this, because this, out of you not engaging in this, you will get this brilliant idea. Sometimes things can come to us at the most unusual times, right? Now, this is interesting because the next card out for you is the Two of Pentacles, right? And this is about balancing, and that's what a lot of us have to do right now. What I find interesting is this, it looks like a figure eight, right? It is an 8, horizontal 8, which is the sign of infinity, right? And then clarifying it, you've got the 8 of Cups. This is the Two of Pentacles is about staying in the moment and juggling. So maybe you have to juggle, you know, if you have children at home during this time, it's very difficult because you've got to homeschool them almost, you know, they're learning online, and then you've got to handle all their homework with them, and that's a lot. So it's a full-time job, and then perhaps you're working from home too, and you've got to do that, or perhaps you know, there's something that you're juggling, right? Can be whatever it is for you. It can be studying and working. And so I always think when the Two of Pentacles comes in, this is about staying in the moment. It's about laser focus, focusing on what's going on, right? If you're teaching the kids, be 100% with the kids. Don't be on the phone, or don't be answering calls from, you know, you've got to balance your time. So this is saying, you know, you are the master juggler, right? So keep your eye on the ball, because you don't want to drop the ball or things can fall apart. So you really need to be present, 100% present with whatever it is that you're doing. So you know, you're going to have to set aside and organize, and this is definitely organization of what you're going to prioritize at the time, or what your time schedule is. Look, clarifying the Two of Pentacles is the 8 of Cups, right? So the 8 of Cups is about wanting to walk away from it all. I think we've all got that feeling. This is like, oh gosh, I really need something more. It's like you're ready to walk away from everyone and everything. So sometimes when you get this card, you have to ask yourself, am I trying to run away from my responsibilities, or am I running towards something spiritual? Because when the 8 of Cups comes in, it's like dissatisfaction with what's going on in your life right now. And, you know, that goes for a lot of people. But this is saying to you that perhaps you need some spiritual guidance. Perhaps you need to focus on this time as a gift. Somehow you can find a gift in this. Somehow, some way you can find a gift, and you can reach for a higher vibration in appreciating the fact, you know, some people are stuck home alone with no one, right? And perhaps you're with the whole family and you are finding it really challenging, and you just want, you're just like, I'm over it, right? I want to give up. But this is saying find that silver lining, darling, in that crowd. Because, you know, some people are, you know, alone and want to be with family, and some people are with family and wish they were alone. We always think the grass is greener on the other side, right? Except when we get there, we find out that it's astroturf. It's not all that we think. So this is a time to reach for spiritual meaning and spiritual guidance, and to look for, you know, positive outlets. I'm telling everyone, stay away from mainstream media. That's depressing and frustrating. And you want to be in a place of gratitude. And that's not possible all the time. I'm not saying it is. But when we turn things around, right, because this might be a way of you, the way you are living right now or perceiving life. Maybe you really need to change that. You may need to move on from that and see things in a different light, and a more spiritual light, and be grateful that you have those people around you that you love. And you've got to find the common ground. You've got to see the best in them. That's what I'm getting. See the best in them. Scorpio, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and please give me feedback on this new format and let me know if you like it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week, hopefully.